Hi, I'm Alex from lexahair.com and today I'm going to show you number 4 of my 5-minute hair hacks. I can never get that out. Right, so today is a look called the braided undercut, and this is something that we saw quite a lot at London Fashion Week at the start of this year, and as it's London Fashion Week this week, I thought, although it's not particularly current, it's still a classic because it's a good way of utilising spare hair. If you've got particularly thick hair, it's a great way of minimising the amount that you have left to curl, and also it looks quite quirky. It's like a cute little undercut, but it's actually sneakily braided away. So what I've taken to start with is a little section. In the industry we call this a C curvature section, but in the real world all it is a little deep side parting and then a curved section just behind the ear into the neck, and that is going to constitute our braid. Pretty straightforward. Okay, everything else I'm going to take and really securely pin it out of the way. Okay, I'm going to start as I do with, where are you? All my favourite things. I'm going to blather it in Magical Potion, which is never where you want it, just because it gives a really nice sort of effect on the braid. It keeps it really neat and it protects it from any heat that might ensue. So what we're going to do is start from right at the very top. I've done braid tutorials in the past and I've tried to explain the concept of braiding on yourself and how difficult it is in comparison to braiding on someone else. So bear with me. I'm going to start by taking it in 3. I'm going to do a Dutch plait, so it's going to be underneath. Everything's going under instead of over. I'm going to get going and then I'm going to start talking you through it. Okay, so where are we? Here we go. So what I'm doing is each section I'm taking, I'm adding to the end, and that is what's going to connect it to the scalp. That becomes my middle section. I'm only actually connecting it on one side. So this braid is basically going to run down the head shape. So it makes life a lot easier. I will explain this in just a minute and get my fingers out of the way. So that is pulled really tight. Bear with me and all will be revealed. Okay, so by doing a Dutch plait, it means that it sticks out, it's inverted, so it makes it look instantly a lot neater. So you're taking hair from this section, you're connecting it to the outer section and moving it over so it becomes the inner section. This section here then gets crossed over. Pull as tight as you can bear. It'll pay off, trust me. Keep going all the way down the head shape. You'll probably find you've missed a few little hairs. Don't worry, we can pin them quite easily later. But really nice and tight. My little ears are so red. Okay. And it's called the braided undercut because a few years ago there was that little phase that Rihanna and everybody else went through of shaving a quarter of their head off, but it's slightly less commitment than that, that's for sure. So what's left over, we're just braiding out the way. So really it's like a secret. Okay, on the end of this I'm just going to grab a super handy tiny little clear band, get that braided and secured. Okay, we'll deal with you later, but now you can see that shape in place, see that little plait, and the fact, like I say, it's inverted makes it so much neater. Now I've made sure it's quite a deep side parting here, and the reason for that is because that little quiff there, it's quite an 80s vibe, but I kind of like it. It's quite festively again, but I mean, even that looks quite effective, but I want it a little bit neater than that. So I'm just going to take a section clip because now I'm working with quite a lot of hair and I don't want this perfect. I love it looking a little bit messy, just not as messy as it does currently. paddle brush. This is the Cloud9 waving wand, so as opposed to a curling wand, it's not got a tapered tip, so you get a really nice cool little kind of drop. When it comes down, it all kind of works in the same way. It looks fab. So I put this on maximum setting because I need this to work quickly. Okay, so it's got a little thermostat here, which is perfect. If you're refreshing your hair in a night, you don't need to go over it and over it with the same temperature. This is the first time this thing's hit my hair today, so I'm going to go hard or go home. Wrap it round, pull that end off, because I want that end to stay straight. If you look at other tutorials, you'll be able to see that I'm a big fan of straight ends on curls. I think it looks a lot more natural and it just looks better when it drops, to be honest. Slide it out. Okay. There's one. Again, hold it out. There is two. And it's pretty straightforward, you're just working up the head shape really, starting from the bottom. I'm purposely not using loads of clips and combs, and I want this to be achievable for real people at home. That's why I've done it on me and not on model. I want you guys to be able to replicate this in your own time, maybe not at the speed of light like I am today, but I really don't want you to get bored during this tutorial and think, meh, it's easy for her to say. Okay, so we're going from the front to the back. Now you can vary the size of the section that you take if you like. Don't feel like you have to take enormous sections. That'll give you a much looser effect. And obviously the smaller the section, the tighter the curl. So by varying them you get a much more sort of random result. Bear with me. Okay, so these guys under here are already dropping, which is good. That's what we want. Take some bigger sections now, so it stays a bit more interesting view. Let's do it here. I'm pulling each section away from a face shape as well because I want to maintain that kind of slightly 80s quiff through the front. I think it's quite a cool little look. I like it. Here. And release to the back. Notice that I'm not holding these sections for absolutely ages, which is good. It's got heat protection on it anyway, but because this one's so hot, don't be holding it on for a good 2 minutes at a time. We're not using straighteners in 1993 anymore. Top section. Start at the back. I'm going to do this one a bit 50s, a bit old school, a bit of a quiff going on here, just for this little section. Slide that out. As a rule, I count to 7 and release, but even then, depending on your hair type, that may be too long, so just practice. Get an idea in your head of what time frame gives you your favourite result. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but then I do count really quick. See these little straight bits sticking out? We can just grab these. It doesn't matter if it's not perfect, it's not supposed to be. Got a big old section at the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See this little plait to the side, if you wanted you could leave it out, but it's a little bit Willow Smith for my liking, so I'm going to probably clip that away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Slide it away. Cool. Right, get that down. I'm going to take a couple of these super thin curvy grips. If you've watched any of my other tutorials, you know what a fan I am of these guys, because they're tiny and a little bit invisible when they're in. So I'm literally going to pull this braid around the other side and just grip it up and out of the way. sorted. Right, okay, so what is left? I'm going to grab a slight, where's that sea salt spray? The sea salt spray has been a godsend. I'm going to really rake it all out, pull it all out. I don't want it too perfect at all through the front, because there's less length to pull that curl out. Through the front it can get a bit crazy, so just really rake it out. Oh dear. There we go. So we have our braided undercut. So this is something that's quite cool for a party. It's a really quick change of style if you've been working all day and you've got a slightly crazy mane of hair and want some of it out of the way. It's quite effective and I hope you like it. So have a lovely evening. Thank you for watching, and all these looks, where's my little book, are available with similar ideas in the Informed Client, available from www.alexahair.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.